If this episode looks kind of weird visually, it's because I have to film with natural light because the power just went out and I have no idea how long it's going to be out. It's one of many problems you may face in the real world. How's that for a segue? Well, it's that time of year again. I'm sorry. I had to play that. I'm sorry. I don't even like it. Done with my first year of college. I got out of school about 2 weeks ago, and now high school is graduating this week. The local high school from where I am is graduating this week. And it kind of got me thinking about where I was this time last year and what kind of advice I would want. Because really, at the time where you graduate high school, there's not a lot of people telling you about the real world, just a bunch of people patting you on the back and telling you, great job for getting this far, and then they just kind of shove you out the door. So in light of my past year of college and just generally how life after high school is, here's some advice that I would give to my younger self, and by extension also to a lot of these high school seniors who are now going to become adults pretty much. Number one, get a job. You need a job. You need to go out there and get employed somewhere. Even if you are going to college and getting a higher education and all that, it's not really fun being the college freshman who doesn't have a job. It's not just not having a ton of money, it's the fact that you need the credibility, because there's that whole catch-22 of, if you want to get a job, you have to have experience. Well, how do I get experience? I gotta get a job. So once you break into there somehow, then life is just gonna go so much easier after that. Trust me, that's important. If you're coming out of high school and you already have a job, perfect. You won the game. Seriously, I know it doesn't feel like it when you're getting talked down to and your boss is angry and cleaning up tables and all that, but you won the game. Seriously. You have experience, you have some extra walking around money, you're solid. Good for you guys. For the rest of us, this summer and this fall might be a good time to look into that. Number two, you pretty much stop being a graduate in June. I know not everybody graduates in late May like the high school does, but I mean really give it about 2 weeks of kind of patting yourself on the back for making it through high school. You have graduation, you have grad nights, you have some relatives come over and say, hey, look how old you've gotten and all that. And then after that 2-week period, it's time to stop and time to start thinking of the next step. July is not the time you want to be recreating scenes from the graduate. Time is a very, very valuable resource. You don't want to waste it, especially through this summer. And all the other summers, yeah, you can kind of kick back because you know that the next semester is right around the corner. But there's a lot of change going on this summer. You don't want to waste the valuable time that you've got figuring out everything. Seriously, now is the best time to sign up for classes, because if you wait a while, you end up with some really bad ones. This past semester, I seemed to end up signing up for all the really late night classes because I'd signed up late. All the classes that happened during normal times of the day were filled up, so you gotta take those weird classes that take place at 7 o'clock at night, and then the ones that are the crack of dawn, you have to get up and drive down to Santa Barbara. It's not good. So sign up for classes. If you're moving away, figure that all out. This is a good time to figure everything out. Don't waste too much time celebrating graduation, because I hate to break it to you, but graduating high school is not the biggest deal. At least not in comparison to what you're gonna do later in life. Number three, get used to that feeling. Throughout this summer and really through a lot of life in college and just after school in general, you're gonna get a lot of this feeling that I really should be doing something right now. How am I failing right now? Which is a really, I don't know, I didn't mean to make this video so kind of dark and depressing, but really you do get kind of that feeling sometimes. It's important to recognize this is a feeling that people will normally get during big changing parts of their life, or at least I've noticed it in a lot of the people around me and in myself. Just kind of this weird, ambiguous insecurity. It's like you've got a never-ending story villain just following you around. You just got this weird insecurity. I don't know, I've noticed that. Again, it's important to recognize that this is common. You have to learn to deal with it. Recognize why you feel this way. Personify the feeling. Give it a name. Call it Gary. Dang it, Gary, what do you want now? If you're feeling guilty because you don't have a job, work towards getting a job. Work towards getting a resume together and looking at what's available. If you're feeling guilty because you're a creative type and you feel like you haven't had the opportunity to do much, start a YouTube channel, start a blog, start writing, start making music, start, I don't know, whatever it is that you do. If you feel bad that you're going to be leaving friends this summer, hang out with them, spend some time with them, make sure that you're completely connected on social media. Figure that all out. Don't sit and dwell in weird, ambiguous guilt. Go out and figure stuff out, because that's an important part of being an adult, is solving problems instead of just feeling like, oh, well, I guess this is just life now. I know that point was kind of vague, but this feeling comes in many different forms, and it's important to recognize why you feel this way, and then go out there and address that. Number 4, know your resources. You know, in high school when you use Schmoop and your teachers found out and they're like, you know what, we really don't want you to use that because in college it's not going to help you. Sorry to all the teachers out there, but it actually does work because Schmoop has grown a lot over the past couple years. Always read the book, but at the same time, if you need a refresher, if you need to cut a few corners because you're running out of time, Schmoop is still reliable. Also, the professors aren't really gonna hold your hands through college. It's not like in high school where part of their job requirement is to make sure you graduate. They're there to teach, you're there to learn. If you need help, you're gonna have to go to them and figure stuff out. And you're gonna kind of get a mix of professors. I know both of my English teachers have been really helpful in terms of providing assistance with writing and with homework and things like that. But I've also had teachers that are extremely distant and kind of vague and don't really give a ton of helpful advice. They're great people, I don't know if they're the best teachers is the thing. So just be aware of that going in, that your professor might not be the best teacher. So if you have a subject that you're struggling in, you may need to look for tutors, you may need to check out certain websites. Just be ready to use all resources at your disposal to work for you. Part of the reason why these schools cost so much is that they provide tutors and they provide resources that can help you. So take full advantage of that, because the professors are not going to hold your hand the way the teachers did in high school. Also, life hack, you know what's really helpful? Audiobooks. Here's the thing about the internet, there's pretty much an audiobook version of every single book in existence. If it's old enough, it's actually probably on YouTube, because there's people who want to show off their voice acting abilities and will make videos of them reading certain books on YouTube, so look that up. Audiobooks not only are extremely helpful for people who are kind of more auditory learners, but there's also the fact that if you get distracted easily, you can open up the book in front of you, put in some earphones, listen to the audiobook, and have it read to you while you read it. And so if you have one of those moments where like you get down to the end of the page and you realize you haven't been paying attention to anything, subconsciously you've been getting information from the audiobook, so you just quickly scan back over it and realize, oh yeah, I do know that, so I'm not completely lost when we go on to the next chapters. It makes the whole process go by so much faster and so much easier. And even if it's not on YouTube, sites like Audible, they have 2 free audiobooks when you sign up. Use that for whatever book you have for English. Number 5, get mentally evaluated. This is kind of a weird one. This is also sort of like, you know, the one about that feeling. But it's important to address that coming out of high school, a lot of kids do go through depression. And it's not always connected to the stress of, oh, I'm leaving high school and going off to college, this is crazy. It can also be connected to other things. But for some reason, around this age range, a lot of people go through depression and anxiety and other not so fun mental things. It's important to get that checked out. These are things that will legitimately mess with you and mess with your learning abilities and just how you live life in general. I went through some gnarly depression last fall, and it wasn't good. It affected schoolwork, it affected the way that I interacted with the people around me, and it's not good. So if you think you have the symptoms for one of these mental diseases, don't self-diagnose. Actually go out and check in with a psychiatrist. Because seriously, it's really important that you take care of yourself as well as taking care of your future. This is not something that you want to linger. This is something you want to take care of right now. Whether it's through medication or through some other means, I don't know, but at this age we're a lot more susceptible to those types of things. Also, in general, it's good to just kind of be aware of your personal quirks and any type of traumatizing experiences that you have, and figure all that stuff out so that you don't end up contributing to the whole safe space thing. Seriously, don't get involved with that. It's embarrassing for our generation. Don't contribute to that. And number 6, think beyond college. This past semester I took a writing for TV class, And for our final project, we had to pitch a TV show, and our professor told us that if we were interested, we could potentially work with him to develop it into something that could legitimately be pitched to a studio later. Through varying circumstances and the fact that the class was pretty huge, I didn't get as much time to develop it with him as I would have liked. But that whole situation got me thinking of how I should really be approaching my major and how I should be thinking beyond college. Especially in my field, I mean, I'm majored in film production, so I need to be thinking beyond these years at City College and even beyond how I want to transfer into USC and all that. I need to think beyond the next level of education and think of the field that I want to go into. Because if you want to get into a career and not just a series of jobs, you should, while you're still in college, be thinking of what you're gonna do once you get out of college. What kind of relationships are you forming here while you're in college that'll have an impact later? What are you doing with your free time now that will affect your career later? Enjoy the now. Absolutely enjoy the ups that we have during this time, but never stop looking forward to where you want to be after college. If you want to get into film production, start making videos, start writing scripts, start practicing, hone your craft. If you want to get into advertising, I mean, basically do exactly what I just said. If you want to get into construction, into computers, into whatever career field you want to get into, you gotta practice at this point in life. Hone your craft, hone what it is that you're good at, and continue to work on that even as you're learning more. If the college you're going to blew up tomorrow, or I mean, more accurately, if you got kicked out of that college, where would you be? Would you be able to get into the field that you want to get into? That's the kind of stuff that you really want to get a head start on. And I'm not saying this to stress you out. I'm saying this because if you actually do have dreams and goals set up, this is how you're going to accomplish them. Get a head start, work at it in your free time, because no matter how much education you acquire, practice will still get you farther. So those are the 6 tips that I would have given to myself last year, and by extension, I'm giving them to you, class of 2016. Wow, time flies. Hope this is semi-helpful. I'm sure there's more advice that you should definitely take up from other people. I just noticed that I didn't really feel like there was anyone there to give practical advice on what it's like after high school in this day and age, and so there you go. But anyway, seriously though, congrats on graduating. Go celebrate for about 2 weeks and then go get to work on being awesome. But that does it for this video. Until next time, God bless and stay saucy. Put together 6... These peacocks, man. They don't fly. They don't fly either. They just make that noise. Oh, man. And there's chickens. These chickens. And they're working together. They're conspiring.